one major thing that enables it is cultural concerns. Culture is a big enabler of GBV. Traditional beliefs and marriage and family. In some cultures, women are expected to be submissive, right? And violence may be seen as a way to discipline them. I'm saying this to say that there's nothing wrong with being submissive. I mean, the Bible says a woman should respect her husband, but the husband is supposed to love the woman. The love. When you love somebody, you won't be punitive.
That's
You
right.
will not beat, you will not hurt, you will not deprive. Because gender-based violence is not just about being violent physically. It could be emotionally. It could be financially.
Women to men. I know men to women. Most common one are men to women, right? Make their wife feel as if they cannot survive without them, and they cannot become anything, and make them feel that they can't even express themselves. So what happens is that those people are lukewarm, suppressed.
That's right, yeah.
And it increases the pressure and the tension of that violence on them. Violence is not just when you beat people. Some are emotional, verbal, economical,
That's right.
that affects individuals.
Encourage everyone. Let's take an action. Let's check on our friends, our neighbors, somebody who needs help. Let's support somebody who is isolated. Let's offer our support. Together, we can all make a difference. Welcome to Heroine Show. Today, I have my two heroines with me, Heroine Adijisola and Heroine Blessing with me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Me too.
Wonderful. Good to have you guys here. Today, actually, our topic for discussion, our talk show would be on a very serious topic, which is gender-based violence in a foreign cultural setting. As we all know, we all come to Canada with a very different aspiration. We think that we left our country and now we are going for a better life with our family, and then you land up here, but you bring your culture, your values, all those things along with you. You imagine that things will be different here with your family, with your surrounding, with your groups and other people. But here you are in the same rut where you were facing that in back home, and you're here in a new country thinking about a better life and facing the same violence, whether it's gender-based violence or any other unseen challenges. So today we will talk about that. I personally didn't face those challenges, but I have met few women who have and who are going through those challenges. I would like to know from you, Heroine Ajisola, that what is your perception about gender-based violence?
Thank you so much, Roy Mokshi. This is a topic that is truly important for the entire family, whether it's women, youth or men. Gender-based violence is not something new, unfortunately. They call it a long psychological and social issue deep-rooted in many societies. And I feel that this kind of deep-rooted issues are enabled by some cultural practices, So if I'm going to talk about my country, for instance, Nigeria, our culture and beliefs and norms actually kind of relegate women to second class status, but putting that on the side, coming to a new country like Canada, there's a lot of cultural shock that people experience. And that culture shock also kind of enables this kind of gender-based violence. Number one, maybe back home, the wife is, very moldable. The wife listens. The children listens to instruction. But they come to Canada, and the wife realizes she has more power to be who she wants to be. And the children realize, I don't need to listen to my parents. So a lot of factors are working against the family, and it really takes the family to really understand each other to be able to move beyond, issues like this. I'm going to pause, but I just want to mention something. During COVID-19, there were a lot of reports around gender-based violence because now everybody's home. Before people will go to work, come back in the evening, they're tired, all they do is eat and sleep.
Yes.
But everybody is in your face. The children are home, the husband is home, your workplace has become your home. And so that really fueled a lot of negativity within the marriage. So it is a very, very important topic, and it's something we need to talk about. And unfortunately, is a topic we least talk about.
I agree with you so much on this. You know what, when we move to our country, as you mentioned just now, that you are a very different mindset when you're working with your family. But here, when the children, especially the youth or your children, when they go to schools, university, they see a very different environment. They know that they have all the rights and parents cannot control them. They learn this typical word, I don't care. They think that they are independent. They can walk out of the home or the family structure that you really want them to be a part of. But again, they don't realize they are immature to really think about what will be the outcome when you walk out of the situation. And that can end up to something like this.
Absolutely.
Especially with girls, young girls. They think that they can have a better life when they walk out, but they don't know what they will face once they are out of the house. And we have seen a lot of these stories. We've heard about these stories.
Yeah.
So, Heroine, Blessing, what's your input in this?
Okay, thank you so much, and it's a nice thing for us to meet again to talk about this very important issue about gender-based violence. While we were talking, I was trying to understand what is the definition of gender-based violence. Violence is the internal use of physical force, power, threat against a person, group, or community that result in or has a high likelihood of resulting to a harm, injury, death, psychological trauma, and deprivation. So if we understand the meaning of violence, we can be able to see it in a way that is negative and it's not good. But unfortunately, it's become a norm, common. Like you said, I am fortunate that I am not in a toxic environment to experience that. But as a leader in a community in different sectors, we counsel, we mentor people that are going through all this, and we see them, especially as an immigrant. Like let's say in Canada, we have immigrants, refugees, and people that come from different countries like we do. We are all immigrants. And then we are here, we experience that culture shock. Things changes. The life you live back home is not the one you live here. Even partners, children, spouses, they change character. individually, you can change too. But these things have generated a lot of harm and a toxic environment that affect human behavior, right? So because of that, gender violence become a phenomenon, to the system. Yeah, so I would say that in cultural background, immigrant status and languages barrier often make it more harder to access support and justice for gender violence, because some people, they may not talk about it, but it's serious. It's one of the biggest issues. That's why you see the divorce is common now, because if people can't take it, what would they say? They quit. I'm not saying that this is particularly for women alone. Men are suffering it too. So it's very important. It's a very important topic, situation that people are facing. And a lot of people are on a hideout just because they don't want people to discover where they are because of what they are going through.
Yes, I agree with you. And you know what, let's take a step further now. We know the issue, we know the problem. Now, when we have to talk about solutions, so what advice would you give to someone who's facing gender-based violence in this foreign country? I would ask you, Heroine Adisolo, what is your advice?
Thank you again, Mokshi. Before I answer that, I actually want to talk about some of the things that enable it, right? I mentioned it while I was talking before, but one major thing that enables it is cultural consent. Culture is a big enabler of GBV. Traditional beliefs and marriage and family. In some cultures, women are expected to be submissive, right? And violence may be seen as a way to discipline them.
That's right.
And maintain control. And I just want to throw something funny out here. Have you ever seen the relationship between men and their daughters? What do you think about the relationship between men and their daughters? Fathers and daughters?
Usually in our culture, that's what personally I've seen, that the sons are very close to mothers and the daughters are very close to father.
Bingo. And it is in our culture. Fathers just love their daughters.
That's right.
It's just, it's so amazing how they pamper, they love them.
Yes.
But unfortunately, that same love is not what they have for their wives.
That's right.
and they expect their wives to be whatever, but their daughters can do whatever they want, forgetting that their daughters eventually will be somebody else's wife.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying this to say that there's nothing wrong in being submissive. I mean, the Bible says a woman should respect her husband, but the husband is supposed to love the woman. The love. When you love somebody, you won't be punitive.
That's
You
right.
will not beat, you will not hurt, you will not deprive. Because gender-based violence is not just about being violent physically. It could be emotionally. It could be financially. Another thing I want to talk about, cultural concern, is honor and shame. Right?
Yes.
I don't want to dwell too much because of time. And also religious beliefs. All these things actually enables it. Now, if you're facing gender-based violence, the first step to take is to speak up.
That's right.
You have to speak up. We've seen so many people in situations they don't talk because they don't want people to be in their business until it's too late. Speak up is the first thing I would say. Thank you.
Okay, I don't want to cut you off. I want to look at, let's look at each of these ones. Let's look at domestic violence. What actually causes domestic violence? Let's talk about domestic violence. What causes domestic violence? Like, let's say, power dynamic, immigration dependency on family pressure. You know that when people comes as an immigrant, we are talking about people coming to a different culture, trying to learn, adapt to the system, and then see that they are not compatible anymore. What they used to agree together, they never agree together again. And it's very simple to happen. happen.
That's
you
right.
know, because for example now, maybe you, like you said, used to say, agree everything. And in this culture, you know that only one head cannot build the house. It's very difficult. Trust
That's
me.
right.
I always tell families that look, you will achieve more when both of you join hands together.
Absolutely.
And stand together.
That's right.
You will get everything, especially men that listen to their wife. Because here, no, to be honest with you, any man that listens to his wife, no matter how you think that that wife is reckless, in a foreign land, a woman is wise. If you trust, if a woman knows that you can trust and believe in them, they will manage you more than a banker that manage your money.
Okay, so let
A
me
banker manage your money.
let me add something to that. I would say that a couple that listens to themselves, not necessarily a man that listens to the wife or a wife that listens to the husband.
To be honest with you, yes, couple listen to them. So how can you listen to this? You must trust on somebody.
Exactly. So, it's reciprocal.
Let's talk about the man first.
Okay.
I'm not saying that women are not, there are no women that every woman do the right thing. But first, women need a trust. I have seen that most home that is very productive, the women's coordinate a lot of things. The man make the money though.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's say the man make the money.
In Canada, I think it's both that makes the money.
They both make money.
But there has to be mutual trust, right?
There's a breadwinner. Breadwinner, at least someone.
There's nothing like breadwinner anymore, my sister. Everybody
Everybody's contributing.
Everybody contributes.
Yes.
Everybody's
But
contributing.
there is always a breadwinner. Everybody contributes. What I'm trying to say now is that, in a family that a woman, is given that honor. Of course, the Bible said it now. He said it that women is a gift from God.
Yes.
Right? So a woman, if a husband trusts or have a belief in his wife, the wife will, of course, coordinate.
We're multipliers.
We're talking about the domestic violence, how it affects the immigrant women and family. Because of pressure, dependency, either the wife or the husband. When you come, maybe you don't have anything, and then probably you have a little money that the family is managing and couldn't solve the whole problem on the ground, rent, bills, and all that. Definitely, there will be a lack of sufficiency of fund. And then, in the sense where the husband and wife could not agree, then the pressure coming from how to sustain the living may cause disagreement, disrespect, and all that. From there could be challenge of violence.
And you know what, Heroine Blessing, we will talk about this after the break, and we'll definitely continue with this topic because this is so important that we talk about this, because once we talk, we know the problem, then we can find the solutions as well. So we'll see you after the break.
The People's Blessing Show is back and better. Get ready for a whole new season of The People's Blessing Show. Meet real people with real stories and exceptional accomplishments. This is the People's Blessing Show Hall of Fame series.
Hall of Fame is a series to honor individuals who have made significant impact in our community.
A
master's degree and make my way in the world.
So educate.
Not a lot of people know about me and where I came from. So
Join Reverend Blessing Ajayi in the Royal Room as she shines a spotlight on icons who have inspired our community to do better. This season promises to be inspiring, informative, and entertaining. Showing on the Black Community Canada Television every Sunday. Connect with us on socials at People's Blessing Show.
Welcome back to the Heroine Show. And today I have with me two great heroines, Heroine Ajijusola and Heroine Blessing, and we were talking about a very serious topic about gender-based violence and other issues associated with that. So, as we all discussed just now, that when we come from our own home countries here in Canada, we feel that we will be having a better life, and that is the purpose of moving to a new country. But here you are, and you're still facing issues, some concerns. So my next question to both the heroines is, I'll get you started with Heroine Adish Solo. What make it feel like when your cultural identity becomes a barrier to seeking help?
Thank you so much. As we were talking about this, we all know that this is a topic that, is kind of sacred, and it affects a lot of people. And I will start with a story. I know of a lady that told me that she would never marry from our culture because of the violence she has seen around her. And she actually ended up marrying outside of the culture. So people react to GBV, gender-based violence, in various ways. But what are the barriers that makes people not to talk about it? One of it is feeling of shame.
Yes.
You may feel, how will people take it? What will people think? Fear of exposure, right? Unfortunately, we always think that the grass is greener at the other side.
Yes.
We don't know what somebody else is going through. Yeah. Concerns about not being supported after leaving a violent relationship. Most people don't want to leave because maybe they don't have the resources to do so. And lack of means, like I said, lack of means to survive, to provide for themselves and their children. There's so many reasons. But to your point, culture, it plays a really, really big role in making people not to want to talk about it. Because another thing is, when you talk about it, people will say, oh, but what did you do? Like, did what you do make it okay for somebody to be violent against you? No. There's nothing that should, people judge before knowing. And so all of these things actually makes the women or men, or even children, not to speak up.
That's so true. And you know what, you're right saying that people fear judgment. They fear that judgment from their own community, it'll backlash on them. That's another thing that the people are scared, and that's the reason they are not looking out or sorting for help. They are not looking for help. Another barrier I have seen is language. Language could be another barrier. What do you think about this, Blessing?
Okay, language barrier. Yeah, most people come in and then communication is a difficult thing for them.
That's right.
And the culture too, allow them, so they suppress inside of them. Yeah, but I would say that for those going through all that, I would also recommend that it is good for us for us to know that people are going through different things. And you're not just there alone. You can speak out and be able to let people to know what you're going through. Actually, working from an immigrant perspective as a leader in the community for so many years, I've been able to help a lot of people going through all that. And they take it normal as a new country when you come. Well, maybe that's how it used to be. And they just live by it, but they don't know it's not a normal life, right?
Yeah.
But it takes someone that mentor, coach them to let them know that, look, it can be better. It could be a pressure. It could be something that is not just working. And a different way of approaching issue too could probably work. Sometimes it may not even work, but at my knowledge during that time, what I encourage those women is to empower themselves. So what we do in my ministry is to empower these women to identify themselves, to know their worth. There was a time I asked a man, and I'm like, is your wife not a graduate? He said the wife is a graduate. Does he graduate from the university? He said yes. And I told the woman, you went to university and you come here and you hide under a table. And you think you don't have a self-worth, Wake up and start picking up yourself. Yes, you may be seen as if you don't have anything to offer. But trust me, if a woman have a value to offer, all those things will become, it will not be seen. Like you overcome them. And you begin to have that inner strength to walk through those violences. It will not be a focus anymore. And I saw that the principle works. So sometimes your intimidation that you experience may make you worthless. And then in other words, language is one of them. Probably it seems as if you don't know how to speak. Some of them don't even go to school. I might think I'm going to go to school. Can I even handle school? Because most of those people that violate either women or men make the people feel worthless as if they can't do anything for themselves.
That's right.
So by the time you identify yourself, that language, you can learn language here. You can learn how to speak. In fact, it doesn't matter how you speak. Apply it like that, and that will help you to overcome the fear, the shock that come with the new culture that you experience.
And you know what? I agree with you. Sometimes it's the internal conflict. You want to say out, you want to speak up, but then you feel guilty. Sometimes unsure whether you should be doing it. You feel as if you're betraying your own culture, your own system, your family norms. So that's another issue.
The thing is that even it may come from the partner, either woman or the man. We are talking of gender violence, which means it happens within the environment, right? That will intimidate. I've seen some people, well, I will talk of the one I know. I've not known women to men. I know men to women. Most common one are men to women, right? Make their wife feel as if they cannot survive without them, and they cannot become anything, and make them feel that they can't even express themselves. So what happens is that those people are lukewarm, suppressed.
That's right, yeah.
And it increases the pressure and the tension of that violence on them. Violence is not just when you beat people. Some are emotional, verbal, economical,
that's right.
That affect individuals. Economical violence is very huge.
That's so true. And I agree with you on this, that it is so important that emotional, financial, physical, all these type of violence, they are a part of this issue. So we have to make sure that, first of all, feel that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Speak up, as Heroine Adijola was just mentioning, that speak up, that is the first step. You have to talk about your issue.
Discuss it to somebody.
Somebody.
And most time, what you think is a problem, someone have gone through it and they walk through it successfully. They can only share with you how they deal with that issue. Like when you talk about violence in a new environment, a lot of people go through it in one word. Everybody, I will tell you that. Everybody go through. So what we do is to adjust. You adjust your personality to suiting the moment. Like we've been here for so many years. You don't want to be like I now, because probably things would have been a little more in order, right?
Yeah.
But someone that just come in, even if you bring all the money you have in wherever you're coming, by the time you change it, it seems to be not much. So definitely you're not going to buy like someone that have a credit card to shop here. So doing, if your partner say, no, don't buy this, buy that, wait first, let's do it later. You have to understand that and wait, because the time will come, you buy whatever you want. But if the person say, okay, you know what, I must be like the other person, I must do like that person, these are most of these issues that gravitate to most of the violence that happen. It could be in different ways. I'm just giving an example with this. So any newcomer or someone that is here that you know that you are not in that level of doing what you are unable to do, I would suggest that it's good to listen to each other.
That's right.
If you know your partner is on a high kind of, authority, you know who you marry, whether the wife or the husband, then you just have to palm low, right?
Can I just
Until-
add? Can I just add to?
And I agree with you. You know what? That is so important that everyone
Work
deserves
together in a
safety.
different way and then handle it how it will work for you both.
Exactly.
Because families are different, right?
And you know what? Everyone deserves dignity,
Absolutely.
safety, and support. Especially, you were about to say something, please.
Yes, I wanted to add some numbers to it. I want to throw some numbers, and you were right. You said you know of men against women, not women against men. And, the Canadian Women Foundation actually has a lot of numbers.
Of men against
No, men against women. And it's so very important that this ends. As it's so urgent that it ends. One, in 2022, 184 women and girls were violently killed in Canada,
in this
country.
Wow.
In Canada.
And people don't know.
Primarily by men. One woman or girl is killed every 48 hours.
Really?
This is Canadian Femicide Observatory for Justice and Accountability 2022. The toll on those who are harmed is significant. It causes psychiatric disorders at twice the rate in the children of people that go through that. It costs billions of dollars, $7.4 billion, to deal with the aftermath of spousal violence abuse. When they say spousal, it could mean men or women. Domestic violence can carry over into workplace because to your point, when a woman is made to feel you're nothing, they will not be productive wherever they are. And another thing, I know I said speak up. You want to make sure you have a mentor, a woman mentor to guide you. You see, people go through different things, and it doesn't mean that that person has gone through gender violence or anything to be able to mentor you, but they can guide you on how to regain the person that you are. Right? You need to know who you are. You need to be self-confident. You need to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, believe you me, if you allow somebody to kill you, what happens to your children?
That's it.
Right? And when you're dead, you're dead. Sorry, you're dead. But you don't want to be in that situation. So talk to women. There's so many women leaders that you can talk to. They don't need to go through what you're going through, but they can tell you how to regain your confidence and be, the best version of yourself.
That reminds me. I want to give this scenario. This very person, that was exactly how the person felt. I said, no, you don't have to feel like that. So we come up with a plan. What can you do? You can do a babysitting, because, a point when you come from a country when a man sustain your living.
And you know what? You were right in saying that, because the women doesn't need charity. They need empowerment. And as leaders, if we can empower them, that is the best thing for them.
Yes.
And another thing that, as our talk show, we always like to recognize a women. Heroine of the Week recognition, that's the time.
Yes.
So I would like to recognize one of my dear friends. She's a family lawyer, Shweta from Family Law Services in Vaughan. She's been doing amazing work for helping women. And men, if we're going through this family law situation. So like to give a shout out to Shweta, and definitely we'll love to share her profile, and anybody wants to reach out to her. She's an amazing person, will help you. She'll walk you through the whole process and be there as a support.
Thank you. Shout out to you, Shweta.
Yes.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you, Heroine Edichisola. So before we wind up, I would just like to ask our last question, that what would happen if every woman knew where to turn for to help in an unfamiliar country?
What would happen if they knew you have an organization that you support people, right? What's the name
Definitely.
of your organization again?
Yeah, it's called Indo-Canadian Association, and our purpose is to empower women, and that's what I was just talking about. It's not pity or charity or something a woman deserves. She needs empowerment. She just needs that support, that help, just at that time when she is going through that low phase. The moment she knows her worth, she's back.
And you're very right. And I do have another organization that we started as Council of Nigerian Professionals. Now we're going as Council of African Professionals. But the idea is to support the holistic family. The holistic family, whether it's the woman, the man, a professional, business, youth, whatever it, entrepreneur, even if you're in trade, if you need help, there are people. I mean, when I came in, what I heard from a lot of people is you can't, and there was really nowhere to go. But she already talked about Indo-Canadian Association. I'm talking about Council of Nigerian Professionals, Council of African Professionals, and Reverend Blessing will talk about how, but there is help. Period. There's help. Speak up. Look for help. Look for organizations in your community that can give you the support you need. At times, I tell people that all people just need to hear is, you are enough.
Yes.
Yes, you can. Don't listen to anyone but yourself.
I agree with you. And you know what? I'll come to you, Heroine Blessing. Women deserve safety and empowerment. That's what we have been saying again, time and again. We all play a part in ensuring that they get it. What is your take on this?
Yeah, like I always said, we mentioned about the organization we'll be working. My organization have been working with women right from over almost 2 decades now.
Yes.
And these are one thing that brought me to what I'm doing, my service in the community and the kind of activities we deliver is helping new immigrants and the immigrants that are going through situations, and they are able to confide on us to express themselves no matter how bad that issue is. And I've seen that those who speak out find it easier to come out of those situations because they learn faster through empowerment, through encouragement, sharing their story, making them feel that no, I can be this way. And eventually they become an asset, not a liability anymore. You understand? And they now add value and they become very, very effective and respected even in that relationship. So what I would say is that it's good for everyone to be yourself, know that you were something before you came and you're going to be even better person. So your value is needed in your family and the community needs you. When you're happy, everybody are happy, the family is happy, the community will grow. So we need you to be strong, better, and then be able to impact your generation.
Yeah, and today with this talk show, I will definitely like to encourage everyone, let's take an action. Let's check on our friends, our neighbors, somebody who needs help. Let's support somebody who is isolated. Let's offer our support. Together, we can all make a difference.
Absolutely. You already talked about empowerment. We talked about speaking up. We talked about reaching out to various community. Education and awareness is something else. Believe you me, Google is out there to help you. Just Google it. You're going to see a lot of ways to support yourself. You need to speak up for yourself, not just for yourself, but for your children. There are safe spaces and support networks, even that is organized by the government. I know we have the grassroots, we're boots on the ground, but the government has that. There's intervention, ways to support you. So please, don't go it alone. There are women, there are organizations, whether grassroots or government, that are willing to help you.
Yeah.
So it was great having a great conversation about gender-based violence and how we can support and help each other. Great suggestions, speaking up, supporting them. And if you see in your neighborhood, in your circle, if you see somebody's having some problem, stand up, just support them. This is so important because somebody who is going through that stress sometimes doesn't know how to cope up. But as community leaders, I know that you're actively involved in the community, Reverend Blessing, heroine of this show, and heroine Regijola with all the
prayers. Somehow, how our ministry started is by looking at these women going through this depression and stress. Then it's just through encouragement and prayer.
Yes.
So if you call the Heroine show, we can actually direct you on how you can get support, either by spiritual support or mental support that can help you to navigate, and then you get better.
Yeah, definitely. And there is support, as we mentioned about the organizations that we manage and we run. We are there to support you. If you want to reach out, all the information would be there. You can reach out to Reverend Blessing, to Heroine Adizola, or me, and we can definitely be there to support you. But again, don't just take it lightly. If you are going through a trouble, if you're going through some issues, stand up and take action. You will really be better off once you take that step.
And one thing I want to say is that as women, let me focus on women, we just have to know that we have children to take care of. Because of that, even if you don't want to do anything, when you remember your children, you can now be able to comfort yourself and not to get deep into the situation so that it will not drain you out. So our children are very important to consider that. Good environment is very important for them so that we can create that comfortable, happy environment for them, and so that the differences between couples should not be a barrier for the children.
That's right. Thank you. And it was great conversation today. Thank you for joining us at the talk show today. I know together we can make a difference.
Absolutely.
And our special slogan for the Heroine show.
Don't forget the heroine and hero in you. Thank you so much.